नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। Myself JV and Dr. Ritu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Gynaecs, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today's session is Management of Normal Purpurium. Normal Purpurium, the principal management is first is to restore the health of the mother. Second is to prevent infection. Third is to take care of the breasts, including promotion of breastfeeding. To fourth is to motivate the mother for contraception. Immediate attention. Immediately following delivery, the patient should be closely observed as outlined in the management of the fourth stage of labor. She may be given a drink of her choice or some time to eat if she is hungry. Emotional support is essential. Usually, the first feeling of mother is to the sense of happiness and relief. With the birth of a healthy baby, the woman needs emotional support when she suffers from postpartum blues or stress due to newborns, prematurity, illness, and congenital malformation or death. Rest and ambulances. Early ambulation after delivery is beneficial. After a good resting period, become fresh and can breastfeed the baby or move out of bed to go to toilet. Early ambulation is encouraged. These advantages are: first is provides a sense of well-being. Second is bladder complications and constipation are less. Third is facilitates uterine drainage and hastens involution of the uterus. And fourth is lessens purpural venous thrombosis and embolism following an uncomplicated delivery. Climbing stairs, lifting objects, daily household work, and cooking may be resumed. Hospitality. Early discharge from the hospital is an almost universal procedure. If adequate supervision by trained health visitor is provided, there is no harm in early discharge. Most women are discharged fit and healthy after 2 days of spontaneous vaginal delivery with proper education and instructions. Early discharge may be done in a few selected women. Some need prolonged hospitalization due to morbidities like infections of urinary tract or the perineal wounds pain and breastfeeding problems. Now diet. The patient should be on normal diet of her choice. If the patient is lactating, high calories, advocate protein, fat, plenty of fluids, minerals, and vitamins are to be given. However, the non-lactating mothers, a diet is enough as in non-pregnant women. The patient, the care of the sorry, this is not showing. The patient is Encouraged to pass urine following delivery as soon as convenient. At times, the patient fails to pass urine and the causes are first is an ectostomed position and the second is reflex pain from the perineal injury. This is common after a difficult labor or a forceps delivery. If the patient still fails to pass urine, catheterization should be done. Catheterization is also indicated in case of incomplete emptying of the bladder, evidenced by the presence of residual urine. The bladder tone is regained. The underlying principle of the bladder care is to ensure adequate drainage of urine so that infection and cystitis are avoided. The care of bowel. The problem of constipation much less because of early ablution and liberalization of the delivery intake. A diet containing sufficient roughage and fluids is enough to move the bowel. If necessary, mild laxative such as iso, sorry, isabgol hugs 2 teaspoons may be given at bedtime. Now sleep. The patient is in need of rest, both physical and mental. So she should be protected against burial and undue fatigue. Sleep is ensured providing adequate physical and emotional support. If there is any discomfort such as after pain and painful piles or encroached engorged breast, they should be dealt with adequate analgesic ibuprofen. Care of vulva and lithos, lithotomy and wounds. Shortly after delivery, the vulva and buttocks are washed with soap water down over the anus and a sterile pad is applied. The patient should look after personal cleanliness of the vaginal region. The perineal wounds should be dressed with spirit and antiseptic powder after each act of micturition and defecation or at least twice a day. The nurse should use sterilized gloves during dressing. Cold, this is ice, sits bath relieve pain and by reducing edema and inflammation. It causes vasoconstriction. When the perineal pain is persistent, a vaginal and rectal examination is done to detect any hematoma, wound gaping, and or infection. For pain, ibuprofen is safe for nursing mothers. Care of the breasts. The nipple should be washed with sterile water before each feeding. It should be cleaned and kept dry after feeding is over. A nursing braziers provide comfortable support. Nipple soreness is avoided by frequent short feeding rather than the prolonged feeding. Keeping the nipples clear and dry. Candida infection may be another cause. Nipple confusion is a situation where the infant accepts the artificial nipple but refuse the mother's nipple. This is avoided by making the mother's nipple more protectile and of not offering any supplemental fluid to the infant. Maternal infant bonding, rooming. It starts from the first few moments after birth. This is manifested by bonding, kissing, cuddling, and gazing at the infant. The baby should be kept in her bed or in a cot bedside her bed. This not only establishes the mother-child relationship, but the mother is conservate with the art of baby care so that she can take full care of the baby while at home. Baby friendly hospital initiative promotes parent infant bonding, baby rooming with the mother and breastfeeding. Asepsis and antiseptics. Asepsis must be maintained, especially during the first week of puerperium. Liberal use of local aseptic measures during perineal wound dressing, use of clean bed lines and clothing are positive steps. Clean surroundings and limited number of visitors could be help in reducing no social infection. Immunization. Administration of anti-D gamma globulin to unimmunized RS negative mother bearing RS positive baby. Women who are susceptible to rubella can be vaccinated safely with live attenuated rubella virus. Mandatory of post phenomenon of pregnancy for at least 2 months following vaccination can be easily achieved. The booster dose of tetanus toxoid, hepatitis B, diphtheria should be given at time of discharge. If it is not given during pregnancy, all are safe during breastfeeding. Management of aliments. After pain, it is infrequent spasmodic pain felt in the lower abdomen after delivery for a variable period of 2 to 4 days. Presence of blood clots or bits of afterbirth lead to hypertonic contraction or the uterus is an empty to expel them out. This is commonly met in primary para. Pain may also be due to vigorous uterine contraction, especially in multipara. The mechanism of pain is similar to cardiac agenal pain induced by ischemia. Both the types are excited during breastfeeding. The treatment includes massaging the uterus with expulsion of clot followed by administration of analgesic and antispasmodics. Pain on the perineum. Never forget to examine the perineum when analgesic is given to relieve pain. Early detection of vulvovaginal hematoma can thus be made. Hot or cold can give additional pain relief. Correction of anemia. Measure of the woman in the tropins remain in an anemic state following delivery. Supplementary iron therapy is to be given daily for a immune period of 4 to 6 weeks. Hypertension is to be treated until it comes to a normal limit. Physicians should be consulted if proteinuria persists. To maintain a progress chart to be maintained, noting the following points. First is pulse, respiration, and temperature, recording 6 hourly or at least twice a day. Second is measurement of the height of the uterus above the symphysis pubis once a day in a fixed time with prior evacuation of the bladder and preferably the bowel too. Third is character of the lochia and urination and bowel movement. Fourth, postpartum exercise. The objectives of postpartum exercise are first to improve the muscle tone, which are stressed during pregnancy and labor, especially the abdominal and perineal muscles. And second is to educate about correct posture to be attained when the patient is getting up from her bed. They also induce the correct principle of lifting and working position during day-to-day activities. Advantage gained thereby are first is to minimize the risk of peripheral venous thrombosis by promoting arterial circulation and preventing venous sepsis. Second is to prevent backache, and third is to prevent genital prolapse and stress incontinency of urine. Procedure. Initially, she is taught breathing, exercise, and leg movement laying in bed. Second is gradually she is instructed to tone up the abdominal and perineal muscles and to correct the posture, postural defects. These can be taught well by a trained physiotherapist. The exercise should be continued for at least 3 months. The common exercise prescribed are first is to tone up the pelvic floor muscles. The patient is asked to contract the pelvic muscles in a manner to without withhold the act of defecation or urination and then to relax. The process is to be repeated as often as possibly each day. B is to tone up the abdominal muscles. The patient is to lie in dorsal position with the knee bent and the feel flat on the bed. The abdominal muscles are contracted and relaxed alternately, and the process is to be repeated several times a day. C is to tone up the back muscles. The patient is to lie on her face with the arms by her side. The head and shoulders are slowly moved up and down. The procedure is to be repeated 3 to 4 times a day and gradually increase each day. Physical activity should be resumed without delay. Sexual activity may be resumed after 6 weeks when the perineum is comfortable and bleeding has stopped. Some women may get flaring response of some autoimmune disorder due to rebound effect of the immune suppression during pregnancy. Checkup and advice on discharge. A throughout checkup of the mother and baby is discharge of the patient from the hospital. Discharge certificate should have all the important informations regarding mother and baby. Advice include first measure to improve her general health, continuance of supplementary iron therapy. Second is postnatal exercise. Third is procedure for a gradual return to day-to-day activities. Fourth is breastfeeding and care of the newborn. Fifth is avoidance of intercourse for a reasonable period of 4 to 6 weeks until laceration or episiotomy wound are well healed. Sixth is family planning advice and guidance. Non-lactating women should protect some from a contraceptive measures after 3 weeks and Lactating women should start 3 months after delivery and to have postnatal checkup after 6 weeks. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.